Sure, I've lost one of my main event attractions and one of the best tag teams in the world. And then, to top it all off, my television show, it's been cancelled. Don't you fret, turn that frown upside down, because that's what I, ColmAhern, plan to do as the train keeps on rolling. Choo choo, if that's what a train does. It's AEW on TEW 2016. All Elite Wrestling was coming off a momentous event. A pay-per-view to end all pay-per-views, except maybe a couple like WrestleMania 17 and the Double or Nothing and other things. But still, it was very, very good. We crowned a new women's champion in Nyla Rose, a new men's champion in Kenny Omega. Conquest were building up steam, the new stable with PAC, Marty Scurll, Kip Sabian, Tyler Bate, and now Zack Sabre Jr. Well, he hasn't been added yet, I don't think. But anyway, that's happening. If you're following along, you know all this. Then, Jesus Christ, then, yes. Then, well, two things happened. First, this happened.
What? Oh no. Release request from Nick Jackson. Nick Jackson is unhappy and wants to leave. He's requested that he be released from his contract. As it is at his request, you do not have to pay anything to end the contract.
And whilst I thought that was bad enough, the end of last week's episode, well, then TNT, the bigwigs at Turner, they decided to drop this bombshell.
TNT have cancelled their broadcasting deal for AEW Dynamite due to the ongoing poor quality of the shows. Oh no!
Yes, as you can see here, AEW Dynamite dropped. AEW suffered a setback last night, when AEW Dynamite was officially dropped from the TNT schedules. The show has been in danger for some time after a string of under-par shows. I take umbrage with that. AEW officials are now said to be looking at damage limitation. Like, if you look at last week's show, it was experimental. That's what I said. To you, maybe not Ted Turner. But, you know, we were introduced the new tag team, the Hung Bucks. Those two lads and Cody and Dustin, they had a kind of a brawl with Conquest. You had Jon Moxley in a squash just to keep him on television. He cut a promo, which was terrific. Like, there was a lot of really good stuff on this show. The angle with Omega and Jericho was an absolute knockout. But just some of the experimental matches, they killed Dynamite, which is an awful shame. So, the first order of the day is to get Dynamite back on television. Tony Khan is beating down the door, and he's like, come on, Colm, what are you doing? I'm giving you enough money here. I need this wrestling product to be on mainstream US television. Now, mainstream US television might be a bit of a stretch, but I'll try and get it on some US television. That's the plan. Fingers crossed. I need something. I need a bit of good luck here. So these are the TV networks that appear to be open to professional wrestling, I believe. Like it says, we'll negotiate, yes, coverage in USA. So, I mean, I'm thinking back now, why did I cancel Dark? But look, what's done is done. So there's a couple of channels here, beIN Sports. MLW obviously is on that, so I don't know if they'll take another wrestling show. Bravo, I didn't realize Bravo was a channel in America as well. I don't know if it's full of Football Factory, not Football Factory. What was the Danny Dyer thing called? Was it? Oh, it was Real Football Factories because it was before the film. But there are a couple of things here. YouTube, I could maybe come crawling back. USA is open to negotiations with you. Really? That would be great. Oh, that would be exciting. So, it says here, coverage, region, viewership. So, USA obviously have big coverage. But I'm going to go through these. Tiny. I don't want tiny. Bigger than that. I'm going to go through these and see what each channel can offer me, I suppose. And What is the best? What's the best choice for Tony and myself and everyone else? If I can please Jesus, hang on to my roster. So there's a couple of options. As I mentioned a while ago, USA appear to be open for a chat at least, and they have a pro wrestling stance, as you can see here. But I suppose because they have Raw and NXT on their slate, and patience is high. That's what I need. I need TNT, a repeat of someone who is just gonna get me to sling my hook quickly. Don't need that. So we've USA, we've Paramount, which have a medium coverage across USA and Canada as well. I don't know how that would. I don't know if I can negotiate with them, seeing as I have a deal with TSN in Canada, and that's worth remembering. Like, I still have, if I can find it here, like, I'm still on TSN2 in Canada and ITV4 in the UK. So, it's something. But America, obviously, that's where my bread is buttered. So there's USA, as I said. There is the Paramount Network. There is... Where's it gone? There's Netflix. So Netflix is obviously a bit different, a subscription service. And I've had a little look here. So naturally enough, that would mean that I think I may get more money, but the audience size could decrease. Which I don't really need. I need eyeballs on my product. And there was another one, ESPN Plus. Again, medium coverage and another subscription service. So, looking at that, ESPN, maybe ESPN Plus is the best choice because it is purely in America. Although, USA is obviously the best option. So, let's have a chat with USA. New deal for Dynamite. Yes. USA Network have rejected your request for negotiations, as it's been less than a year since the collapse of your deal with TNT to show AEW Dynamite, and that makes them wary. Oh, come on. Seriously. Can't get on somewhere where there's going to be big coverage, but you can get medium coverage, and Paramount's probably the next best option, because again, as I said, I need eyeballs, but I don't know what the story is because I have a Canadian deal. Canada is involved in Paramount, but let's just have a chat with them. For Christ's sake, are you serious? Same thing. Seeing a pattern develop here, and I do not like it one bit. Where do you stand on this, Mr. and Mrs. Netflix? Stand on the wrong side of history. That's where you stand. What was the other one? ESPN Plus? Is it the same thing? Is everyone going to say the same thing to me? Why? It's a great... It was just... What? I put the Dark Order 2.0 on one show. Why will no one... I have Cody Rhodes. I have Chris Jericho, Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega, the Young Buck. What's the problem here? Maybe I'm going too high. Maybe I need to look at networks that are crying out for programming, such as... So that was... Let me have a look here. USA's coverage is big. Paramount's is medium. Netflix is medium. ESPN Plus is medium. So the step below that, obviously, would be small. I suppose Pop. They had... Well, they're against wrestling because of Impact, it appears. Twitch? Could we just stream the thing? Why would... Twitch would hardly reject my advances, would they? Patience very high. Wrestling stance neutral. Risk levels low. Yeah, small coverage, but it's just setting up a Twitch channel. So, no. Let me just set up a twitch.tv/AEW Dynamite. Why can't I do that? Is there any way to do TV controls? Can I just set up hold on, create a new show? Could I offer them a new show? What if I offer them Dark? No, they won't take that either. Oh, this is. I'm very cross. I'm very, very cross. Is no one gonna give me a television show? No, I'm just going through all of these, and no one wants anything to do with All Elite Wrestling. El Rey, after the success of Lucha Underground, nope. Don't want me at all. Fight TV, like, in reality I'm on Fight TV. In the game world, no. So, I think that means I have to wait 12 months to get All Elite Wrestling on American television. That's very frustrating. Can I create a WWE network? How do I do that? I think I can. Oh. Maybe I have the power. Check this out. AEW Network. Yes. Creating your own broadcaster gives you the benefit of guaranteed airtime, as they cannot refuse your negotiation nor cancel an active deal. Creating a broadcaster involves a one-off flat fee of $10 million. I'm not sure if I have that. Plus an additional cost for every region that has coverage based upon the coverage level. Broadcaster can be upgraded in the future, although the cost per region is then significantly higher. Each company can only have one broadcaster at a time. Oh dear. Right, I do not have 26 million. So that would be what? If I had my USA coverage as big? Okay, I can change the style. Well, so hang on. Pay-per-view, broadcasters incur running costs. The cost depends on the size of coverage in each region, with larger sizes causing bigger costs. Based on these settings, the total cost of creating this broadcaster would be 26.5 million. You would be spending 14 grand per month. Commercial broadcasters incur running costs. The cost depends on the size of coverage in each region, with larger sizes causing bigger costs. Appears to be 26 million in all these. Free to air and a subscription service as well. So if I change what if I have tiny USA coverage? Based on these settings, the total cost of creating this broadcast would be 12.75 million. And I have how much money? 8.5. Looking at my outgoings and my incomings, one of the biggest ones was TV revenue. So the chances of making, 12.5 million just to set up my own thing and have tiny coverage in the States, it's not looking very good. And a lot of that is down to the fact that I cancelled Dark, and that cost me a couple of mil. Hindsight, not a very clever decision, it appears. So, what I need to do is put on incredible shows, and maybe not sign anyone for a bit. Can I afford to do that? I don't know. But yeah, I need some cash. I need a lot of cash. Now, the reason I want to sign people, I think I maybe should sign people, is because looking at my roster, which you can do here, you can check the popularity of each member of the roster. And the popularity goes from, in descending order, icon, huge star, a draw, well-known, recognizable, a regional star, regional level, and an unknown. And I have 0 icons. I have 0 huge stars. I do, however, have 2 stars. One of them Jon Moxley, one of them a commentator. The step below, which is a draw, I at least can add Jericho and Omega to the list. And then well known, who's after being added? Zack Sabre Jr. has been added to that, above Cody Rhodes. If I go recognizable, yeah, that's when Cody joins. So ZSJ is a bigger deal than Cody. That's worth remembering. Regional stars, I have a couple. A lot of them are my road agents. But I have at least Awesome Kong, And who else has been added? Or a referee as well. Jake Hager. Okay, maybe I do need to push him a bit stronger. And I have Matt Jackson and yeah, not Nick Jackson, but I have PAC as well. So I have a couple of bodies there, but I do not have enough when it comes to the mains, the main event scene. I just don't have enough. When it comes to the whole company, I don't have enough. I bring this up because I got a great comment. Thank you very much to the people who watch this, by the way, and the commenters and the likers and stuff like that. That's brilliant. Thank you. Because as you'll probably have noticed if you've been following along, I'm essentially learning this game as I go. Last week, I got a great comment from Cory Thomas. Cory said, just to give you further insight into how pushes are done from a game perspective, popularity is what fuels it. So even though a main eventer is against a main eventer, the heart of the matter is really, say, a 60 popularity guy versus a 40 popularity guy. So the 60 popularity guy will complain unless he wins or is protected in defeat by either dominating, keeping strong, or protecting. Reading those boxes will give you more info. However, in short, dominating can be like a squash but requires charisma 70 plus to be a success, otherwise could work against you for the squashing guy. This is good. Keep strong lowers the grade of the match but is incredibly useful to convince top guys to take a loss, and protect can raise the individual performance of a wrestler, especially for guys who are green. The top female star I have, which is something, it's been an ongoing thing that I've mentioned here. Was it in Well Known? No, it wasn't. It must have been recognizable? No, it wasn't. It must have been a regional star? Yeah. Awesome Kong is the most popular wrestler I have. All the rest of my female roster just pale in comparison. So because of that, really, I need to sign someone and maybe put the TV network on the back burner for a small bit. Yeah. So let's find a female performer who is at least... Well, let's go through it and let's find someone who's willing to talk to us. Let's start at an icon. Chances of coming to AEW slim at this point, especially without television. But let us see who's there. There is no female performer who is an icon in the USA. Okay. Huge star? No. Really? Becky Lynch isn't... Alright. A star? Okay, Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, and Stephanie McMahon. Let's try and... Can I chat to Stephanie? See if Stephanie McMahon is under a written deal. You cannot begin negotiations until the final month of the deal. Look, something to look forward to. It would be... Make a splash anyway, wouldn't it? A draw has added Charlotte Flair. Well Known adds nobody. God, it's not great. Recognizable. Alexa Bliss has been added. Renee Young. Sasha Banks. I'm guessing. Well, hang on. Let me check. They're all on written deals, are they? Alexa Bliss, written. So the regional star option does open up a lot more women to me, but not ones I can sign, it appears, because a lot of them are from the WWE. Well, apart from like AJ Lee and Brie here, who are both out of the business, but the rest of them appear to be under written deals. So, like Carmella here, Charlotte Flair, Crazy Mary Dobson, who is, God, what's her WWE name? I can't think of it. Anyway, Ember Moon, Gail Kim, I could guess, as a road agent. That's something. Gillian Jacobs. Gillian McLaren Jacobs is an American actress. Britta! She is known for portraying Britta Perry on the NBC Yahoo screen comedy series Community. What? Why is Britta Perry here? Can I... Hang on. What? Negotiate. I can sign Britta to my roster. So she's weak in ring. Physical attributes average. Entertainment very strong. Camera very strong. Reputation strong. So she would obviously come in as a mouthpiece But under what guise, I don't really know. Why is she in this game? I mean, she's great on Community, which is something that I've discovered over the last couple of months when I watched it, and I'd never watched it before. So, yeah, stick her on the shortlist because we might come back to her. From having a poke around, there are 3 women that I could add to my roster. One, obviously, Britta from Community. There is Shayna Baszler, who's not under a written deal, who would just come under the age limit that Tony Khan put on me first day. And Miyu Yamashita. Now, I must admit, my knowledge on Joshi is poor enough. But at only 24 years of age, she is currently the Shine champion. Princess of Princess. I don't know with what Tokyo Joshi Pro that title belongs to. I'm guessing if she works there. So she might be worth chatting to. She actually comes at a decent offer as well. Because she's the youngest. She can actually wrestle. She's strong in that regard. She's weak. She's average entertainment in camera. Just don't have her talk. It'll be fine. She's strong as a heel, strong as a face. Shayna Baszler would be another one then as well. Britta, I want to sign her. How much is she? 800 per piece? That's nothing. Or 1700 on a written deal. I just like the idea. But then this is what kind of flippant attitude got me into this fucking mess in the first place. So maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should go with Yamashita, who appears to be a good guess. Yeah, I think the Walter deal. I still haven't used Walter, but the Walter deal for Yamashita is probably the best thing to do there. Yes, I'm gonna make that official. And Shayna Baszler, how much is she? Oh, Shayna Baszler is under a written deal with NXT. Didn't say written there. It did with all the rest of the women. But anyway, should I bring in? Could get her on a pay-per appearance and just have her there just in case. Put her with the best friends. Ooh. Commenter from earlier that I mentioned, Cory, who put me right on the popularity of wrestlers, also gave me a suggestion for my new championship belt. So to refresh the memory of those of you watching, created a championship last week that hasn't been introduced on television yet. Where are my championships? Where are there? They are titles. Now, tentatively, I named it the AEW Young Lions Championship. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to name it. Cory, you had a couple of great suggestions. Let's go with Rising Star. Now, what I suppose, whilst that does insinuate this person isn't a star yet, but that's kind of what this belt is. It is going to be for the under 25s on my roster, which I think I went through last week. There was Jungle Boy, there was it Mark Quinn or Isaiah Cassidy, one of them. There's MJF, there was Darby Allen. There is a grouping of 4 or 5 lads that I could actually build a title belt around. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that. So thank you very much for that suggestion, Cory. Because one of the programs that I am running with at the minute is Darby Allin versus MJF. And I think using that program to introduce this title would be good. So that's the plan. Some of these maybe need to look at, like Nyla Rose versus Shanna. Because if we get Yamashita, maybe she needs to be injected here. But a lot of this is up in the air at the minute because you don't have a television show. In America, ITV4 quids in. Watch the popularity of the product Grow and Grow on ITV4 alongside repeats of A Touch of Frost. Kris Statlander is requesting a pay rise. How much is she asking for? I'm currently being paid to... yeah, that's actually very little. 540 that I'm worth. I think you're worth... probably worth more than 540. But I'm going to have to start being a bit more of a bastard, I think, if we are to launch the AEW Network. So let's give like 75%. Could sign Baron Corbin. Could. A pay rise request from Isaiah Cassidy. A lot of people requesting pay rises. He is currently being paid $260 per appearance, which is a lot lower than the $720 that I'm worth. I'm requesting a $460 pay rise. That's a big pay rise, Isaiah. Now, as I did with Kris Statlander, I don't think I can offer you the full amount. Then I'm going to be putting the belt... No, I can't. I need... As I said, you know, I need a war chest for my network. And, you know, I barely have a toy chest. Matt Riddle, though, an interesting one. Reports are coming out of WWE that Matt Riddle is set to be offered a brand new contract extension deal. His contract is rumored to be expiring in a month's time. Is it? Because that's a guy that I would love on my roster. So let's stick him on the short list. That's why it's important to keep track of this over here. So you can... Big E gone? Apparently the challenge of working foreign places is one that excites Big E. WWE stars recently mentioned... Okay, Big E is not up for grabs. Matt Riddle, though, keep an eye on that. So Yamashita has accepted the terms, which is great. I don't know, am I bringing you in as a face or a heel? Brandy is a face, Britt Baker, although she is turning... Do I have that set? No, I will be turning her heel. So I need to... Hang on, I can do that here. Pair turn. Kairi Sheed is a face, Kris Statlander is a face, Riho, Sadie Gibbs is a face, because I think I just gave up on the idea of turning her heel. I think I might need heels, actually. I have 7 baby faces and 10 heels. Now, I suppose the most popular woman on my roster is Awesome Kong, who is down as a heel. So it does make more sense to bring her in as a babyface, who could maybe topple the evil Awesome Kong. Perhaps. So yeah, bring you in as a face. And see how that goes. I don't know. Gillian Jacobs has accepted the contract offer. We'll bring her in as a face. I think actually her with the best friends is a terrific shout. So complete that contract. Yes. Why not? In an effort to produce a better episode of Dynamite, I did note that last week there were a couple of things that the crowd wanted. They wanted a high spots match, a car crash, a steal the show, and a storytelling match. Those are the 4 things. I need to attribute 4 different matches to those, whatever they're called in here, match aims. So, let's start the show off. See if we can build some bit of a rivalry between Santana, Ortiz, and Sammy Guevara, who got the hump last week because for being left off Dynamite. I want to keep, even with the Conquest coming in, I still want to make the Inner Circle relevant. So Santana and Ortiz in a tag match against Best Friends, who are coming off a win from the Dark Order. And the match is going to end with outside interference from Sammy Guevara, and maybe have it branch off with Orange Cassidy and Sammy Guevara. I don't know if Britta was going, whatever her, Gillian Jacobs is going to be accompanying Best Friends to the ring. Fingers crossed, because I don't know, it might increase the rating for this match. Then we're going to run an angle with Chris Jericho and Jake Hager cutting a promo on Kenny Omega after last week, wherein Chris Jericho and Jake Hager are going to put it to Kenny that, again, use your imagination, about how all of Kenny's pals are too busy with this new group. So who's Kenny going to get to join him in a tag match, which we're going to have the announcement after this. And the reveal at the end will be Jon Moxley, because as we've learned, got to put him on every segment. And I believe I mentioned that last week anyway. Like, the storyline is currently... Where is it? It's still that, but I should probably change the name of it. It is still Omega and Jericho, and they're going to have a rematch at a big Dynamite in a couple of weeks' time. But then Moxley is going to be inserted into this program. I'm still trying to keep Nyla Rose strong. But as I've learned from Cory, thanks again, that I think I had her in a domination match last week, which was silly because her charisma wouldn't be high enough to do that, and that would then hurt her. So instead, could do keep strong, which, because if she is a little bit green, then hopefully she'll be protected somewhat. Can I keep both strong? Maybe a little bit overkill, really. No, it's not keep strong. What am I doing? It is protect is what I meant to do. So just have her be protected, because we're just trying to build up a monster for Shayna. Although maybe no Yamashita. Anyway, I don't know. I need to sort all that. So whilst we lost the Young Bucks, I have the Hung Bucks in Matt Jackson and Hangman Adam Page. And this match is purely to build them up as a tag team, because they're currently rated F or whatever it is. And obviously the Young Bucks were an A. So this is just to get a couple of wins for these. And you know what? Having Adam Page be the victor, probably good. Jack Evans can eat the loss. And what were the matches? Car Crash, Steal the Show, and Storytelling. And High Spots. This could be a High Spots match. This specifies that the aim of the match is to have a bout full of flashy aerial spots. This can be exciting content, but generally needs a crowd who have been warmed up properly. These matches struggle to go more than 15 minutes. So if I set it to High Spots, could I protect Adam Page in this instance? Because he's obviously not as well suited to this match. That could work. Although, trying to predict this game has proven difficult at the best times. If you've been keeping up, you'll know that there was meant to be a tag title change between Private Party. They were meant to get the belts off of SCU. However, Frankie Kazarian got injured and scuppered those plans a little bit, or at least delayed them. So, there was nothing on the show last week. We're going to have a 6-man. And also, there was nothing between Jurassic Express and the Lucha Brother, I suppose, in this instance, because, yeah, Pentagon's gone. But still, the plan is get Jungle Boy over. Whilst I need to protect Rey Fenix. Rey Fenix is probably going to win this feud overall, because I don't want to lose him as well. But the idea here is Jungle Boy is going to pin Mark Quinn, which will then give Jurassic Express a claim to the tag titles once Private Party beat SCU. I don't know, I hope the game will recognize that. Fingers crossed. But yeah, that's which is becoming little catchphrase here. That's the idea. I mean, it is. So I think I mentioned how the main plan after Shayna loses to Nyla Rose and then Nyla goes on to her next program is for Britt Baker to form an alliance with Tenille Dashwood that will go up against Kris Statlander and Shayna. But in the meantime, Britt needs to gain the confidence of Kris Statlander, which they are going to do. They're going to form an alliance on this show, and then they're going to take on, it's an easy win, basically, beat I've Kris Statlander going over Melanie Cruz, and they'll seem like they're going well, and then, you know, typical pro wrestling wallop. But the payoff will be Britt Baker turning heel and turning on Kris Statlander. There's a nice thing, which I won't do this time, but you can have someone be added to the match like midway through or at the very end. So, you know, there'll be seeds of doubt from Kris Statlander. The crowd will probably be able to tell that the turn is coming from a mile off, but fingers crossed that they'll like it just as people have done in reality. So in the lead up to the first Rising Star Championship match, I am going to have Darby Allin face off against a couple of people. MJF is going to just throw people at him. Now, whilst he's starting with Wardlow, it's maybe not ideal, but It's going to happen. But MJF is going to cut a promo on Darby Allin first before this match. But Darby will win. And so I'm trying to tick a couple of these boxes off. I have a storytelling match. And I have a high spots. I could make this a car crash match. It specifies that the aim of the match is to basically do a stunt show full of dangerous moves and spectacular bumps. This can amaze a crowd and get them buzzing. Due to the nature of the bout, injuries are far more common and it's easy for the match to fall apart if it goes on too long or there is nobody with psychology to keep it cohesive. Give it a go. And because Darby would be suited to that match. Wardlow? I don't know. Could protect Wardlow though. So I was going to reveal ZSJ as the newest member of Conquest on this show. I think it's stacked as it is. So instead, before the main event, I'm going to have Cody for a short little promo. Pretend he's furious about last week. And he's going to go through Conquest. Because they're all pups. And the first match is going to be against Kip Sabian. I'm going to have that next week. Save that. And then I'm going to finish off with the main event. The big reveal. Jon Moxley. Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. And because the idea is to add Jon Moxley to this storyline, I think having him win and pin Jake Hager doesn't hurt Jericho and potentially means Moxley can spin off a little mini TV feud with Hager. That's a pretty decent 2-hour television show, I think. But then I guess I'm biased. Covering all the major storylines, I believe, to a point. Some of them I'm hitting heavier than others. But I think it's pretty well paced. No one's kicked off. There shouldn't be morale issues. So maybe that's slightly too long. Shave. It's a 15-minute match. Shave a minute off it. So yeah. Now, go on, tell me game. Tell me why this is absolute rubbish. D+ start isn't terrific. In about that had subpar wrestling and little heat. Santana and Ortiz defeated best friends, and Ortiz defeated Chuck Taylor by pinfall with a street sweeper following interference from Sammy Guevara. So what were the issues here? I suppose there were no issues really. Everyone gave it their all. The match got the show off to a strong start and it got the crowd hotter. It's just purely the quality of the workers involved. Was Gillian Jacobs involved? Was she there? I don't think so. Maybe more Gillian Jacobs needed for the next best friends go around. Thought that would do better. Jake Hager was very poor when trying to improvise dialogue. So that was my issue there. I didn't script Hager, which I probably should have. Nyla Rose, Sadie Gibbs got a D. It's okay. Nyla Rose had an in-ring performance of D+. Sadie Gibbs a D. That's not horrendous, to be honest. So Nyla Rose got a bonus for being protected. Again, noted. Sadie Gibbs got a bonus for high morale. What were the... So Sadie Gibbs was penalised for poor psychology. Segment rating was penalised for booking decisions. Was it? Why? How dare you? How dare you question my booking? Dirt sheets? No, oh god. I'm turning into Bruce Pritchard now. Okay. I respect critics. You know, you're entitled to your opinion. C- for the Hung Bucks versus the Hybrid 2. That's alright. And about that, a decent wrestling, but little heat. I understand why it had little heat. I suppose it was a cold match. Adam Page is not suited to his gimmick. I need to change that. Do that in a minute. I will do that in a minute. Announcing quality lifted the match. Adam Page was D+, Matt Jackson C, Jack Evans D+, and Angelico C. He's diamond in the rough is Angelico. Matt Jackson got a bonus for high morale. He's loving life without his brother, it appears. D+, I thought that would do better. That's 6-man. In about that had decent wrestling with little heat. They defeated them. In terms of in-ring work, Rey Fenix was head and shoulders above everyone else. Head and shoulders? Ah, come on. Very happy that Private Party did so well out of it. What else? What else was your problem? Seemed like everyone did all right. So Scorpio Sky was penalized for declining physical ability. This is something that I've noticed in this game. For some reason, it wants to tell me that Scorpio Sky, at 36 years of age, I think he is, his body is breaking down. Come on. Britt Baker was terrible with no script to follow. Her dialogue was a mess. There's very few that I can have unscripted. D for the match is okay though. I mean, that tells me subpar wrestling, but I'm happy with the D. Brandy Rhodes did some good work at ringside. She's still connected to the Nightmare Collective, and I'm not sure why, because they're not down in my stable section. I don't think anyway. I need to have a look at the Britt Baker, because I don't remember her turning in my game previously. I'll give that a look. Man Maxwell, a C. He worked the crowd well, using the freedom to improvise to his advantage. The storyline gained heat. This is good. D for the Darby Allin Wardlow match. Subpar wrestling. Wardlow is not suited to his gimmick. Jesus, I need to change him as well. Oh, Cody. Doubt you, kid. Oh, good. Main event got a B+. It had superb wrestling and great heat. Match got the crowd buzzing. Yeah, everyone did brilliantly, because even Jake Hager got a C+. At least the show finished really strongly. And a B-. We're back to our glorious B-. If only I'd done that last week, maybe I'd still be on TNT. I always love the emails after a show, because they're normally from some of the main event wrestlers telling me some of the lower card wrestlers are utter shit. Santana doesn't connect with the fans. You should probably write the kid off. No. Billy Gunn, Chuck Taylor just doesn't get it, in my opinion. He can probably be cut loose. No. Chris Jericho Wardlow has poor ring psychology. The kid's probably not worth keeping around. He will be. There's been an incident involving Jake Hager that requires your attention. What's going on? Jake Hager has been identified as a soft drug user. Thing happened with Joey Janela a couple of weeks ago. As the drug testing is done in-house, the press have not gotten hold of the story, so there is currently no potential for damage to company prestige. So again, I think I gave Janela a slap on the wrist, so I can't have one rule for one and one for another. Soft drug user. Guessing that means weed. So I'll give him a slap on the wrist, and the incident has been handled. Nothing noteworthy has resulted in it. So that's something. Oh no! Riho has sustained an anterior cruciate ligament sprain. Riho's out for 19 days. Not ideal, but shouldn't change too many plans. And Frankie Kazarian is back in 5. So I can ramp up the SCU and Private Party storyline again. That's good. Before I do anything, let's find new gimmicks for Wardlow and Hangman Adam Page. The game tells me that Adam Page's cowboy gimmick is rated above average. I'm not entirely sure why it's telling me to change it, but it is, and his cowboy gimmick is affecting segments. So it's probably worth changing. What we change it to, I don't know. A conspiracy man, country girl, corrupt official, generation game, a bunny boiler. Is there a bunny boiler in here? Braveheart, boy band, bossy. There's a lot of gimmicks. Okay, let's try and find Adam Page a gimmick then. Jesus, look at this. Wow. We're looking at his skills. He's strong babyface, very strong heel. He's not going to be turning heel. Cool, strong, cocky, very strong. Okay, so cool and cocky is what we need to look at. Character claims to be the future of wrestling. That's, whilst not subtle, that probably works a little bit better. There's no reason why Hangman shouldn't be able to use this gimmick successfully. Let's have him work this gimmick. I think that works best. It's not a major departure from what he's doing, and I think alongside Matt Jackson works well. Yeah, hired gun isn't working. Does not have all the requirements necessary to use this gimmick. It is recommended that you do not use it. Well then, let's change it. And he is more successful in Crazy. Hang on. Well, heel. Yeah, that's going to happen. Crazy and Brute. An awful lot of these seem very similar. Silent Assassin, Tough Guy, Underground Fighter, Man Beast, although there's a little bit more risky and difficult. It's just basically Brock Lesnar. Silent Assassin, Tough Guy. So Silent Assassin, good description. Tough Guy thinks he's a real fighter and likes to act like a legitimate tough guy in the ring. Thinks he's a real fighter. Makes it sound like, yeah, but he's not. Underground Fighter. They fight in the basements of bars, clubs, usually in an organised fight club. For a badass, a character who doesn't back down from anything or anyone and is always ready for a fight. Wardlaw can automatically use this gimmick without any problems as it is one of his default gimmicks. Well, that's probably the best then, isn't it? Let's have him be a badass. All you gotta do is poke around a little bit and you'll figure out how this game works. I've noticed that Wardlaw isn't attached to MJF after having a look around, because it says here manager none. So I can set that, and also I can take Brandy Rhodes away from the Nightmare Collective. She keeps on popping up and it's quite annoying. It just works. It just works. Why fight it, and why fight the push of Orange Cassidy? Yes. Next week. Oh, it's on again. Strap the rocket to your back, freshly squeezed. Going to the moon, my friend. If you like this video, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. That would be much appreciated. Also, let me know in the comments what you would like to see in our All Elite Wrestling. There are 2 other videos off to the side there if you're looking for more to watch. But most importantly, please subscribe and then ring the bell so you'll be notified of all future uploads and live streams and all that type of stuff. Thank you very much for watching. You are a star.